halfway through December. This year is nearly finished. And in a couple of weeks, a whole bunch of people are going to make resolutions. And they're going to talk about how 2021 is going to be different. And how they're going to do this, they're going to do that. They're going to lose the weight, start the business, write that book, start that podcast. They're going to say all this stuff. And by February 6th, which is a date that research shows most people quit on their resolution. By February 6th, it'll be the same thing all over again. Different year, same story. You know what's crazy? 2020, this year, January 1st, a whole bunch of people made promises. They made resolutions. They said they were going to do all this stuff. And now we're sitting here and they did jack. And you might be listening to me and you might be one of those people. So please, listen to me. This is one of the biggest things that are missing in the kingdom culture that we've created, that actually was present in the Bible, that Jesus was big on, but we don't go into. This here is the game changer. That if you bring into your life, then 2021 can be completely different for you. And here's the word: accountability. Accountability. Your ability to account. Account for what you're doing, why you're doing it, when you're doing it, where you're doing it, how you're doing it. Accountability. Probably the most important factor. And so Jesus comes and he models this discipleship that is completely based on accountability. And these days, what we do is we don't want accountability. We don't want anybody checking up on what we're doing, whether we're doing what we said we're doing. We don't want any kind of assessment, any kind of, hey, is this working? We don't want any of that. We just say things and then accountability. If you want the game to change in 2021, you are going to need to adopt accountability. Now, I want to tell you something. There is this law, Pearson's law, that talks about measuring performance. And now, I'm not talking about measuring your performance with God and your relationship with God. So let's put that aside. I'm talking about just simple doing what you said you were going to do. Let your yes be yes. Having that integrity. And Pearson's law states when performance is measured, performance improves. When performance is measured and reported back, the rate of improvement increases. It accelerates. That means that if I measure what I'm doing, let's say that I make a plan that I'm going to read so much of the Bible, I'm going to pray so much, or I'm going to do something, right, for a month, and I measure it, then this law states that my chances of doing it are going to increase just because I'm measuring it. But if I'm going to measure it and report it back to someone, accountability. The minute I shift gears, the speed of my improvement also accelerates. That means that if my chances were 5 out of 10, 50% when I was just measuring it, then if I choose to report it, my chances of getting it done are going to go up. The rate of improvement increases. Accountability. The missing factor, the missing link. Who are you accountable to? Who checks with you to see if you did what you said you were going to do? And this is one of the biggest things that we do in our coaching program. And I know that is why it's not popular, because we all love to make promises. In the emotion, in the excitement, we make promises, we make vows, and then we don't keep them. Accountability. Who have you got who keeps you accountable? You know, a mentor of mine said that people don't do what you expect, they do what you inspect. The minute you know something's going to be inspected, the chances of you getting it done, you know, in our group, we have done this program called G63, which I'm going to talk about more in the future. And it's just 63 days of doing 4 things every day, between 4 and 6 things every day. And you do it as a group. And so now people are checking up on each other. Did you do what you said you were going to do? And it's really interesting how much the game changes when you know somebody's going to ask you whether you did it, whether you went for that walk, whether you did your exercise, whether you drank your water, whether you read your Bible, did your meditation, whatever it is, whether you started that book, whether you started that podcast, started that challenge. When someone's going to check, it's really interesting. At times where you would not have done it for yourself, just because you know you are accountable, you will get it done. There were times where I've set myself challenges, and I distinctly remember being on holiday, doing a push-up challenge during Christmas time. This was 2 years ago now, probably 3 years ago actually, that I did that. And because I had to report back online of my performance, everyone was asleep, and I would be making sure I got my push-up reps done on holiday while everyone's asleep at 11 o'clock at night. I'm going boom, 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 getting it done because I was accountable. Multiple times I remember doing things I would never have done only because I was accountable. Who are you accountable to? Because this is how the game changes. This is why you need a coach. This is why I need a coach. This is why everybody needs someone in their life who keeps them to their word, who checks them, who checks up on them and checks them. And you know, the amazing thing is eventually you will not need someone else to check you because you will check yourself at a high level. And that's what I found in the last 3-4 years. The maturity of being able to be checked by others led me into my own accountability, a deeper level of accountability with myself. And now I make sure for myself that accountability is more important than people's accountability. And that's what you want to get to, is maturing to a place where now you will keep yourself accountable and do what you said you were going to do. Who's keeping you accountable? What is going to be different next year? It's really amazing to me how many people think that on the 31st they're going to have a party, and somehow on the first day of the first month of a new year, everything is going to change. And you don't realize you're taking in the same mindset, the same heart set, the same thought patterns, the same belief systems, and they all are going to lead to the same action. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And it's your time. Go and get some accountability. And if you've got no one to be accountable to, jump into our free group on Facebook. Search for Fuse Life. Jump in there. You're going to find a little bit of accountability, and you want to go deeper, then message me and join our group coaching program. We will keep you accountable. Just make sure that 2021 is not a repeat of 2020. You know, they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. What are you going to change? What are you going to change? I'll see you on the next one.